Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one with me, Miss Whitney B. Today I'm going to be answering two questions about the twin flame connection. So I myself am a twin. I became aware of the path as a twin consciously about 2.5 years ago. But first and foremost, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to add anything that resonates, any sign, symbol, synchronicities, or I would love to hear about how you knew you were a twin. So today, the first question I'm going to address is how did I know that I had met my twin? And so, fabulous question. So I'm going to set the stage a little with context of a psychic connection. So I knew, at least as long as I can remember, consciously, which my first memory is like a year old. And as long as I can remember, since I was 3, at least, I was meeting this soul in many different ways, many different forms, but I would always go on these adventures. So I would emotionally escape, leave my physical body and go astral project, consciously awake, and just project my spirit and call to the one that was to be mine. So I didn't talk about him like that until I got a little older. I think I started talking about him like that around the age of 12. But I just knew what I was looking for, and I knew that if I pulled on this thread, there's this tie that linked us, that I could get his attention and get him to spend time with me. And sometimes he would come get me, sometimes I would go get him. But there was this soul throughout my lifetime as Whitney that I would go visit in the astral realm. Many times, many ways. And so I had just come back from a major transition in my life, and I was on a whim and took this opportunity, and I happened to meet my twin in this opportunity. And when I first met him, there was this, it was very weird. It was like an energy charge, this magnetic attraction. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I was really nervous because of what was going on. And I had a lot of social anxiety, and sometimes I still do. I'm very psychically open, and I receive a lot of information when I'm in public and around others. And so I have learned to deal with that, but at that point in time, I had not fully integrated those aspects into myself and learned coping skills that really help me ground and feel secure. And so I was very nervous, and when I get nervous, I go outside of myself because I'm not sitting in my vortex. I'm not sitting in my inner being or my heart space. I start to kind of go into this fight or flight mode, which then takes me into my ego and surviving rather than sitting in an open heart. And so I noticed the magnetic attraction. I noticed the energy, but I didn't really think much of it until we touched. We shook hands. And when that happened, there was an electrical charge that went to my entire body, and all my hair stood up. And I was I took a step back and was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That was intense. That was deep. Well, I was dating somebody else at the time and preoccupied with my life and kind of floating in this awakening process. I had just in the last, I would say 9 months to a year before that, really started awakening to deeper levels of channeling and communicating with spirit. I'd been reading cards at that point for maybe 15 years, but I hadn't been consciously, fully, actively communicating with spirit and loved ones who'd passed on until about 9 months to a year before that. And so I was very in this awakening process, and very much this is me, this is the new version of me, this is what I'm feeling and receiving and experiencing all the time. And it was like a big awakening. I've heard others talk about it like taking a drop of acid. I personally haven't taken a drop of acid, but from the stories that I've been told, it's this, everything is just extra highlighted and lit up and glowing. And because I had just awakened to such a deeper level and done a big detoxifying, I had been doing spiritual journeying and all these different things to really cleanse and heal my soul and to remove blockages and obstacles, and creating awareness for myself, and taking accountability and creating stability. And so interesting. And so everything was kind of like really intense and bold and big at that time. And so I was like, whoa, maybe there's a psychic message here. And then of course, as I had that thought, ancestors of my twin stepped forward. And so and then I was kind of like freaking out a little bit, because this happens to me, yes, but usually I'm actively choosing to channel into spirit like that at that point, not now, but at that point I had to kind of like focus the energy to really receive. But his stuff came right out, was like, boom, here I am. These are things going on with me. I was feeling feelings and I was having these thoughts and all these different little hits and things. And I was just like, whoa. So that was my first inclination that I had met somebody important, or I was in a phase of my life where something very important was going on, because of the way that my body physically responded and my intuition lit up. And so the next, what happened next after that was our Kundalini awakening, and that happened about 5, almost 6 months into having met each other. And when that happened, when the Kundalini awakening happened, it was a whole next level. I had guides come in. I don't know if any of you have heard of this Ascended Master, but her name is Radha, and she was the twin flame to Krishna. And she came in and she started sharing with me all of these visions of the journey that was about to unfold. Also, my twin was sharing with me visions of the ways in which we were going to come together, what union was going to look like. And so at that point, with all of the visions coming in and the Ascended Masters talking to me, again, I had already worked with Ascended Masters. I've been working with the version of Mother God, with Sophia, that energy. I've been working with her consciously since I was about 14. And so it was normal to talk to Ascended Masters and beings like that, but I hadn't had one come to me so explicitly the way that Radha did. And Radha told me that this was a journey, that this was a twin flame journey, that this is what I'd come here to do, that this was the work, and that now it was my job to awaken and align and to heal. Basically, I think it first started with healing like ancestral wounds and traumas and things. So how did I know I was a twin? Well, I came into this world knowing that I was going to marry one person and that I was going to only love one person in my lifetime. I was just talking with my mom about this the other day, about how when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I told her I was going to marry a person of color. I told her that my children were going to be people of color. I told her I was going to marry one man. I told her that I wouldn't love others other than him, and that if he didn't come, I wouldn't choose to love another. And I had told my mom all these things when I was really little. And, as I imagine as an adult, you laugh, you think, oh, how cute. Look at this one thinking she knows what she knows. But I had told her that I was going to have twins, that the twins were really important, and that that the twins were going to play a huge role. Well, at 3, the way I was interpreting that or sharing that, wasn't realizing that that was a twin flame. So what I like to say is I always knew that I was a twin. I know that as long as I can remember, I always had that person that I always reached out to when I was sad or hurting or bored or lonely or wanted to talk or wanted to play. And I would just go visit him. And that continued to progress over time spiritually until that landed in the physical 3D. But basically, Radha coming to me and my twin giving me downloads, which freaked me out, no lie. Even just talking about the feelings are really intense and awe-inspiring and emotional and beautiful, but also heavy. And I thought to go share these things with my twin. Oh my God, you came and told me this happened, this is what you said. And he was just like, dude, no. You're tripping balls. This is not real. This is not a thing. That is not shared. all these kinds of things. And so it kind of spun me out. But I had ascended masters come in over and over and over again through this journey in the last 2.5 years to help me along the way. And so that's how I knew. I knew because I linked up when I met this person in the physical 3D. My twin, when I met him, there was this like instant energy, this instant connection. And then the more we started spending time together and getting to know each other, he would say all the things that I told Spirit that I wanted him to say. That's how I would know. When I was little, and even as a grown woman, I would tell Spirit, like, when it's the partner for me, when it's the one that is to be mine, I want him to say this. I want him to do this. I want him to show up for me like this. I want it to look like this. And when my twin came in and we started to get to know each other, that's exactly what happened. And so because I was still awakening myself and learning to be powerful in myself, that all spun me out and really triggered me, especially when my twin was coming in the contrast saying, no. And I'm like, whoa, how are you not experiencing this too? How is this like, whoa, I didn't just make this up. I know this isn't coming from me. This is channeled energy. I know this isn't mine, but I didn't have the faith in myself and in my connection to myself and divine yet on such a level that I fully believed and bought in and could understand that this was all the unfolding journey. Now, 2.5 years later, when those things happen, I'm just like, oh, yep, okay, next step's coming. And another thing is that my twin, the entire time of our connection in physical, the entire time of our connection while in physical body, we've always spiritually communicated, always. And then as he's come into my physical realm, in my physical world, he has always come and given me visions of what is to come next, what's going on, what he's concerned about or worried about, what he wants to see, what changes he wants to make. What I love so much is like, I love feeling prepared. I love feeling solid, stable, and grounded and connected. Those are my things. And emotional security, I'm a Cancer. Like my sun sign is a Cancer Leo cusp, and I like emotional security. That makes me feel safe. And so early on, my twin and I had a conversation about those things, not only physically, but also 5D. 5D is where most of our conversation happened, about deep, intricate things, sharing feelings, intimacies, and then it showed up physically after that. But he always comes, even to this day, and brings me messages, dreams, visions, truths, knowledges, unfolding, songs, messages that give me information about what's to come next, what the steps are, what we're doing, what's working, what's not working, how to upgrade. When I get scared or nervous, I can literally feel him energetically reach out and ground me and anchor me in. And when I feel that he's feeling that way, when I get that emotion, that pull on my my like intuition, or I get that thought or feeling, I will reach out and do the same energetically. It's creating that space of sacred union, of we are one, no matter whether we're in physical form or not. You are me and I am you, and we are one. And in that wholeness, we can care for each other and give love to each other in a way no other being can for each other. And so that is how I knew that this was my twin. So the other question was, what was the other question? Sorry, hold on, guys. How can someone else know if they're a twin? So it's energetics, it's feelings, it's connections, it's knowings, it's trusting yourself. Now that I've awakened and integrated, I learned that my first teacher was Sylvia Brown, and in her book she talked about twin flames, and she talked about how we all have a soul that we are born with, and that we're twin souls. Two halves of one whole being, two whole halves of one whole being. And that resonated the first time I read it. I think I was about 12 or 13, and I was reading her books. I think this one was like Life or Death and Beyond, or something like that. I think it's like purple. I don't know, I can see it. But again, this is back in like 2000 like 2002. 1998. I'm 12. Yeah, 1998. My bad. 1998. Anyways, I was going through this awakening, and astrology and signs and symbols and numbers, they all talked to me all the time, and I was learning how to decipher them, and I was learning about the other realms and the other worlds, and the other dimensions. I had always been able to astral project and to go different places. Like, I have gone and seen the middle of the earth, and traveled to Pleiades. Like, I've always been able to jump and jump dimensions and like time walk. Like, yeah, it's just a thing. Always been able to do it. Didn't realize that's what I was doing until like 6 years ago, and I was like, oh, that's what that is. Like, oh, okay, cool. Been doing that forever. Didn't know that. But Sylvia Browne talked about those twin souls, and there were so many other things that resonated that she had talked about that I was like, okay, that resonates. That feels right. I can feel that. I can buy in. I can totally get that. Now, not until Radha came to me in 2018 did I understand what a twin flame was and what the journey was. So Sylvia Browne had laid the seeds, and my inner being had always knew, right? We always know. The higher being, the highest self, always knows and shares with this self. And the more we integrate, the more we're in alignment with the higher self and the lower self, creating that as above reflection of all that we are. And so as a child, we have no resistance. I had no resistance, at least. And maybe not everyone that's true, but I think for most children that's true. And so I always knew that one person was coming for me. I always knew that was the path, that was the journey. I always used to tell my family when I was little that I came here to do great things, and that I came here to help the world be a better place. And I knew that I had a partner in that journey. I knew that I had set myself up for this. Like, I remember being really little and telling my family about how, like, our lives are in the palm of our hands, and these are the contracts that we created with Source before we came, and then with all the other beings. And just I had all this like knowledge, and Sylvia Browne in her books really confirmed those things for me. And so I listened and I followed and I awakened, and then it's a whole journey, of course, but that was the first process. And then when Radha came in 2018 and shared with me the journey and what that looked like, and that many had come before me, because that was another part of the process, is she took me through sacred rituals with myself and my twin, and him and I, and then her twin Krishna. That we had multiple healings where they came and help us do the alignment work to burn away chains, to remove contracts, to remove karma, to align and to heal. And they came over and over again. And I know I can remember at a couple of different points, we were surrounded by any and every twin flame who'd ever incarnated as twin flames, and they were sharing with us the universal knowledge and wisdom of all of their knowledge and how we came here to do this work. And so I had an inner knowing, and the more and more I trusted that inner knowing and bought in and believed in myself and what my higher self and my intuition and my spirit was telling me, and followed my heart, the more and more and more physical confirmation I got over and over and over again. And so it's kind of multi-layered. I was born with the knowledge that I was a twin and that's what I came here to do. But I also learned to trust myself and to trust my intuition and my higher being and my inner being and Source and that co-creation. And as I did that, I regularly, I want to say multiple times a day now, receive confirmation as to what these things look like. So, all right, guys, that was first round of Q&A, twin questions. If you have more questions that you would like to have answers to, please do feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, guys, I would love to hear your origin stories. Like, how'd you know you were a twin? When did you align to that? Oh, Spirit just showed me, let me not forget. So my mom is a twin, and my aunt is a twin, my niece is a twin, my brothers are twins. So I came in with a very tight, select group of soul family who are also working on the same things as me. And so that's true for all of us. Mine just happened to be twin flame work. Twin flame, which is the union of opposites, balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine with the self, within the self, for full actualization, so that you can come into full alignment with all that is within yourself, that full integration, which allows that flow. And so I noticed on my mom years ago that she has a gold cord. And that gold cord connects her to another soul. And that soul happens to be her twin. So when I first told my mom about the gold cord that comes out of her belly button and attaches to his belly button, and I first learned, because Archangel Michael told me, because I was doing cord cuttings and energetic cleansings and clearings at the time, Archangel Michael told me it could not be cut. We could cut through it 1,000,000 times, but that bond cannot be broken. Those two souls are attached to each other, point period. It's just clearing out and healing the connection so that it's in wholeness. And so that was about Spirit saying 4 to 7 years ago. I'm not sure which. Hold on. I would really have to think deeply. 4 years ago, I told my mom about that. And about, like I said, 2.5 years ago, when I got the awakening, Radha came to me and showed me and told me that that was our connection, and that we all have one that connects us back to source, but twins have a gold one in between each other, and that it cannot be broken ever, point period. It can never be broken. And so that was another thing I knew but didn't realize that I knew about twins. And so again, it's all buried in your own subconscious. So how do you know? You ask yourself. You ask yourself, you wonder to the universe, you talk to your higher self, you allow flow, you allow connection to yourself. And through that connection to yourself, you will get all the answers you are seeking. I hope that helped. I look forward to talking to you guys again on another one. Don't forget, again, to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.